Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the channel. So today we're going to talk about Elon Musk, and recently he released a memo to his team, to his leadership specifically, to talk about meetings and how meetings should be handled. And I always think this is an interesting topic because I've been in places where you couldn't get anything done because of the number of meetings you had every day. And I've worked in places where you were always triple booked every single day. Because people were able to add meetings to your calendar without your input. So you may have stuff that you schedule yourself in person or your administrative assistant scheduled for you in person, and then you would get double booked on that. So I think his insight is pretty good. Whether you love or hate Elon Musk, I think he's a very astute businessman. And from a standpoint, I kind of like how he stands for himself and stands on his own 2 feet and has an opinion about things. Because most folks just take it as it comes, and the folks that are highly successful typically don't do that. They have input and feedback. So here are his lines on a meeting. He says that people should do this. They should, number one, avoid large meetings. Large meetings waste valuable time and energy. They discourage debate because people sometimes are a little bit shyer in a big room. People are more guarded than open. There is not enough time for everyone to contribute, and that's the biggest issue with them. I agree with that. The larger the meeting, the less comfortable people feel. And then he says, don't schedule large meetings unless you're certain that they provide a value to everyone involved. I agree with that. Number two, he said, leave a meeting if you're not contributing. If a meeting doesn't require your input, your value, your decisions, your presence is useless. It's not rude to leave a meeting if it's not necessary, but it is rude to waste people's time. I agree with that completely. I've done that in the past. I've left meetings because it was a waste, and I had a dozen other things that needed my time that day, and so I have no problem leaving meetings if I'm not necessary. But I would say this: if someone in your hierarchy does call you to a meeting, go to participate, and then have that feedback. If you have one-on-ones, tell them that in sessions. Look, I'm not really of use in these meetings, but if you do need me, and kind of handle it like that. And hopefully your hierarchy will be supportive of that because they are paying you to be the most effective, efficient person that you can be. So that might actually open up some visibility to it. But it could put you in harm's way if your company is all about, command. And if you're being told, then you have to do it. So the next one, actually number 3, is forget the chain of command. Communicate with colleagues directly, not through supervisors or managers. I agree with that completely. Fast communicators make fast decisions. Fast decisions equal competitive advantage. I agree with that completely. Unfortunately, in today's world, everybody thinks that their vision is the only one that matters. If you have decision makers that you can meet with and handle things quickly, a lot of times that'll be what wins you a job over someone else. Number 4 is be clear, not clever. Avoid nonsense words and technical jargon. It slows down communication. Choose words that are concise, to the point, easy to understand. Don't sound smart, be efficient. That's number 4. I could not agree more. That's excellent. Number 5 is ditch frequent meetings. There's no better way to waste time or waste everybody's time. Use meetings to collaborate, attack issues head on, and solve urgent problems. But once you resolve the issue, frequent meetings are no longer necessary. You can resolve most issues without a meeting. Instead of meetings, send a text, send an email, communicate on a Discord or Slack channel, and don't interrupt your team's workflow unless it's necessary. So if you're interrupting the workflow and it's not important, then it is unnecessary. Another thing too is some people are too responsive, too rapidly. They have to give their feelings, they have to give their feedback, when they would be better served if they just wait and sat on it for a day or two and just thought it through and then came up with a true, concise answer and followed up that way. That would actually be the best suggestion around all of it that I would make. I've come on to companies before where there is a ton of work to be done, and the people that have to do that work are scheduled in meetings constantly. So they can't lead their teams to be successful through the expectations of their job, because every time they get rolling, they have to leave it to someone else because they have to go be in another meeting. So I agree. If it's an interruption, it is unnecessary. 6, use common sense. If a company rule doesn't make sense, contribute to progress, apply to your specific situation, avoid following the rule with your eyes closed. Don't follow rules, follow principles. That's a little less of a motivator, I would say. If you work for a company that pays your paycheck, you probably want to watch some of that because the rules are there because the company deemed it important to put the rules in place. But I do think if it doesn't make sense for you to contribute, if it doesn't make sense for you to be present and you can't contribute, then it's not going to lead to any progress. So have those conversations and get that out there. Saw this today, guys. Just want to share it with you. I thought it was interesting. It was interesting enough read. And Elon Musk is a maker in our time. He makes things happen. He does a lot of things. Sometimes he loses money. Most of the times he doesn't. So just something to think about. That's his principles on meetings, and I could not agree more. Hopefully you like this information. You like subject matter such as this. If you do, please subscribe, please like, and please share. Be good.